Hey guys, I sound crystal clear. I sound good right now, but I do have to take some ownership. When we started recording, unfortunately, a setting on my computer switched over and my audio doesn't sound good. Pat sounds great. I sound awful. So just be forewarned. It's not your speaker. It's not your car. It's not your mind going crazy. It is me. I screwed it up. I apologize. Try to be better. Will be better. Won't happen again. But I do just want to let everybody know that the audio will be disappointing. What's not disappointing is the content. We covered Louisville, talked a little bit about the Cal game at the beginning, talked a little bit about some coaching rumors that are picking up pretty significantly. But I do just want to let y'all know the audio is not great from my standpoint. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's preview Louisville.
You got me! I got you! You got me! I got you! You got me! I got you!
I woke up this morning, got out of bed, and I said, man, I can't believe it's Tuesday. Can it just be victory Monday, victory Sunday, victory Saturday for the rest of eternity? Wait, we play more games? I suppose we do. And I'm excited about it because I'll be honest. We hit record. We did 3 minutes of podcast. It wasn't good. We spared you from it. We do that every once in a while. But you did make the point. You said you can only love a 3-5 football team so much. And I got to tell you, we just keep breaking through the ceiling, man, of how much we can love this team. What a week. We got Bruce Arians. He's rocking hokey gear on the Pat McAfee show. As a quick aside, I do wonder if Bruce Arians is excited regarding something that might happen sometime soon. If you own the internet, you have probably seen a lot of rumors about James Franklin. I also want to say that 10 days ago, it was a done deal that we were hiring Shane Beamer as our coach. And this week, it seems like a done deal that we're hiring James Franklin as our head coach. I will say this. If we do hire James Franklin as our head coach, I might tweet a picture of him every day. The level of excitement and euphoria that I will feel if that is the case will be unprecedented. It would be the most big-time, big boy move that Virginia Tech has done, maybe in the history of its existence. Is that a crazy statement?
You know what I did before I came on the pod tonight? I went on Twitter and just scrubbed my Twitter to see if I'd ever tweeted about James Franklin prior to this football season, just to see like if I had said anything good, if I had said anything bad in the past.
Oh, well, good. Well, lucky me, the Penn State fans did that for me already. So what did yours say?
One of them was, it was tough. It was me quoting my Penn State buddy who was gushing over Brent Pry. And it was like, James Franklin would be nothing without this guy. We got a good one. It was like right after the hire, November 30th, 2021.
I remember that. I remember you saying this.
The other one was, what is James Franklin selling? That's all that was there. So nothing.
That must have been after we lost. That must have been after we lost like Ricky Slade or something. That must have been like after we lost like one of the 5 million awesome Virginia recruits that went to Penn State. Had to be.
It was nonstop. It would be a big boy move, Billy Ray. Most big boy move in the history of the football or athletics program.
Well, think about it. Think about it. Here's what jumps to my mind. To me, the only other argument is retaining Frank Beamer from UNC after the national championship. I actually posted that sentence on the boards, and somebody wrote back and said it would be the biggest move since bringing Frank Beamer back, and he got crushed. I got to be honest, I agree with him. Like, to say that this is bigger than literally retaining a national champion coach who then went on to win 1 million football games. James Franklin's got to win some games. He also has to be fired or hired in the first place. So trying not to get ahead of myself, but I clearly am not doing a very good job of that. So
it would be large. It would be like hiring Buzz. I thought that was a big boy move.
It's one of those situations where I think was it Tyler Grossburnt who sent this text, who basically said, I want to hire somebody where somebody whips out their phone and they go, oh my God, Virginia Tech did what? Like an Arkansas fan does that. NFL fan does that while they are covered in body paint as they head to the Ravens game or whatever NFL fans do. I gotta be honest too. Before we get started,
let's put Buzz in that category then. The Buzz higher.
100% Buzz belongs in that category.
I feel like the casuals raised an eyebrow.
Well, and you could also say this. This just speaks to how not down bad, because I'm really glad Bashal Tutin and Liz Kitley came back, but like them announcing they're coming back for their senior year were some of the biggest, like, oh my God, this happened. So anyway, Bashal Tutin was at the game. I promise we're going to preview Louisville at some point. We're the Sons of Saturday. Billy Ray Mitchell. I'm in Charlotte. We got Pat Finn. He's in Manhattan. If you're new, if you've been here for a while, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. It helps a lot. I also want to say this: winning football games, tremendous impact on the Sons of Saturday brand. We did 4 million engagements on Twitter this weekend. The 2 biggest hits were the Gobble Up sweatshirt. There is a sweatshirt that says Gobble Up. I have my settings on Twitter to scrub inappropriate video. There was some heinous video commented under that video, and that kind of contributed to that one going off. You can imagine what was put under that video. And then the other one was I made fun of Miami's uniforms. I didn't even think it was that creative. I literally just said, no disrespect, like, this is one of the worst uniforms I've ever seen. And that one got quite a bit of traction as well. And Pat, I know you have this queued up. I have to shout out to our media team. First and foremost, to Jamal Simmons. I think that he did the video. It was tremendous. Shout out to Logan Ross. That was a hashtag Kleenex effect. Little tears. I was waiting to get the text from Logan that the highlight video made her cry. And then the other one is Keegan DeBernard, who is one of our photographers. I mean, talk about leaving no crumbs. Can you throw this up on the YouTube, please? Can we get this photo? It is maybe the best photo I think that has ever been taken in Virginia Tech lore. It was retweeted by Unnecessary Roughness. It was retweeted by Pat McAfee. I mean, look at this photo. Are you kidding me? The aura, the lore, the colors, the praying to your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I think that's what Aiden Green is doing. Or he's talking to a family member. I don't know who he's talking to, but the picture is powerful.
This is up there with the Brent Pry in front of the American flag photo.
It is. There's no question. That's another awesome pick, dude. That's such a good pick. It's such a shame it didn't work out.
PB made us those shirts, the Brent Pry with the American flag in the back, just on a plain white T-shirt. We were going through some of the closets at the Hookie House over the weekend, and I was like, I think we might need to get rid of this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I gotta put the phone away. Stuff's happening.
My guy is waiting for the Franklin text.
Stuff's happening. I'm throwing it on D&D. I can't. Okay. So we play Louisville this week. We're gonna talk about this football game. The best kickoff time. Pat, we think this is a new segment every year when we get a 3:00 kickoff or a 3:30 kickoff, and we're like, can we talk about 3:00 kickoffs? We'll just do it again. It's the best kickoff time. There is no better kickoff time than 3:00. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, agree. Friday Night Lights, though, we kind of got fired up about that on the last pod, Billy Ray.
There's no better Saturday kickoff time. Let's say that. No better Saturday kickoff time than 3:00. You get to tailgate in the morning. You get to tailgate in the early afternoon. You get to go in, hopefully walk out of Lane Stadium with a dub, and then you get to leave and you get to watch the late night games at Tots. Unbelievable. I also won't have a raspy voice, hopefully, because I won't be at Tots until 2. I can tell you that for sure.
As a watcher of ball, we got the marathon this weekend in New York. Got some Hokie friends coming in. We're gonna watch the games at some Brooklyn bar this weekend, and there's nothing like that 3:30 slot with nothing on the line. It'll be a nice day of enjoying the game. There will be something on the line, though. You got a ranked team at home. Louisville, ranked 16th in the country, coming to Virginia Tech. Vanderbilt was not ranked when they came to Blacksburg. Am I correct in saying that?
You're correct that they were not ranked, and that's more of an indictment on the AP poll, which has been an absolute. I feel like Josh Pate has done a really good job shining a light on it, but I've been following the AP poll for years. It's just been a travesty. They've gotten better as the season goes on, but man, what a disaster. And we'll talk about some of the other college football stuff at the end of the show. But let's kick this off with a Hokie haiku. Pete McGee, he's back shaking off the rust. Overused mascot. I take offense to that because my local high school team was called the Cardinals, Westwood Cardinals. They win the state championship every year. But New Jersey gives out 76 state championships every year. So, I mean, what is that saying? His haiku, overused mascot, lacking original thought, the bigger bird wins. Well done. Tight, precise, very well done. I'll tell you what, it's Tuesday. I'm already missing the Calgorithm. I'm already missing their chirps. And that begs the question, Pat, what is a typical Louisville fan? Like what? I feel like I haven't met a lot of them. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Before I share, just because you brought up the Calgorithm and because we have to do this on every podcast now, early reports are saying that the members of the Calgorithm are already bored and sick and tired of the UVA fans on the internet and miss Virginia Tech Twitter. This one guy says, "Get me back to God's country." Virginia Tech Twitter. He says, "The vibe we get from UVA fans is they take themselves way too seriously and try too hard. Take me back to God's country." Parentheses, Virginia Tech fans. Thank you, Tyler Tomei. So, as an aside, I would sprinkle some units on that Cal money line, or just take them straight up. The Who's have got to go all the way out to the West Coast here. It's not an easy trip. Prayers for that guy making the equipment bus journey. I know he usually gets stuck in the Southwest Virginia back roads, as we've seen on the internet before. The average Louisville fan.
Coach Elliott said it's going to take 4 days to drive there. It's pretty quick. It's not bad. That sucks. That sucks so much. Average Louisville fan.
I asked ChatGPT, what is the prototypical Louisville fan? Answer, ride or die, but slightly chaotic. Louisville fans feel everything. When things are good, national title or bust. And when things are bad, it is meltdown season on the message boards, and they hit the panic button early. They have a chip on their shoulder. They live in Kentucky's shadow, and they hate that. They're obsessed with proving that they are the real city school. So there's like a permanent us versus everybody else mentality, especially when it comes to the state of Kentucky and Big Blue Nation. There's a bit of a city
that I actually view Louisville as the bigger school in the state of Kentucky. Because here's how I look at that. Basketball is kind of a toss-up. Louisville has great basketball history. They've both won national titles in our lifetime. Amazing alumni that have come from there. And football's not a toss-up. Louisville's a better team. Now, I don't know what the head-to-head is. I haven't looked that up. But Louisville is more successful in the ACC than Kentucky is in the SEC. That's just one man's opinion.
In sports across the board, or just football?
I think when I think of the state of Kentucky, I think of overall sports success higher for Louisville. I mean, they have one of the most. We have this written down. They have one of the most lucrative spending athletic departments in the country.
They got a lot of money. They got the city swagger. They got the bourbon. They got the horse racing. This says tattoo sleeves, cardinal bird logo everywhere. But this is not the rural SEC energy you get. This is more 4th Street Live. Their big basketball DNA. Obviously, Rick Pitino's era, 2013. You guys remember that. They are comfortable in controversy. They've lived through some wild scandals and don't flinch. They will defend everything with full conviction, and there's humor and defiance in their soul. Louisville fans
They revitalized Bobby Petrino, dude. They were like, Bobby Petrino was hooking up with this chick and got on a motorcycle. Why don't you come down here and coach some ball? And he did a damn good job at Louisville.
Rick Pitino, Bobby Petrino. They're genuinely passionate, highly informed. They know their roster. They know the coaching pipelines. They know the recruiting drama. They are emotional, but they are certainly not casuals. Some comps, I actually was like, okay, well, who are some comps? Billy Wright, before I jump into the comp train, do you want to tell me who you think are some good comps, or if you wanted to compare the fan base to another fan base across college sports?
So the first one that I thought of, and I don't know why my brain went here, and I think it's somewhat affected by the interactions we had with the Louisville fan base in 2023 when we thought like we had won 10 games and we weren't even bowl eligible yet, and we thought we were going to crush them. So they chirped a lot, and then for some reason, when I close my eyes and I think of a Louisville fan, I think of someone with gray hair. So I actually said a combination of West Virginia and Boston College, which is a weird comp.
Yeah, that's not a combination. That's called a spectrum. That's like saying, well, like, yeah, I think they're kind of like a combination of East versus West.
they're like steak and tofu. Yeah, I don't know.
Good combo. Some comps. I keep seeing this city swagger, hip hop, nightlife, powerful image. The University of Miami, they are obsessed with being realer than their in-state rivals. So Miami has that with like Florida and Florida State. Their peak highs feel like a cultural moment, not just one season. And when they're good, you hear from them, and they're very loud. When they're bad, they are chaotic and dramatic. I would argue that Miami fans don't exist when they're bad. I mean, you even saw Saturday night Stanford game. They got the primetime slot, and the stadium was like half empty. A couple of legends, if we're going to talk just some lore here. We talked about Pitino. Denny Crum had 2 titles in the 80s. Actually, Mr. Rafferty played against them in the NCAA tournament for Drexel. That's a fun fact. In 86. Darrell Dr. Duncanstein Griffith led Louisville to their first title in 1980. Purvis Ellison, Donovan Mitchell, and then this one cracked me up. Monstrezel Harrell, former recruit by Seth Greenberg to come to Virginia Tech. So ended up going to Louisville, and I dapped him up courtside at a Chicago Bulls game in Chicago when Brian got me tickets to the Hornets game like 3 years ago.
I'm not sure if this is still accurate. He was at one point the all-time leading dunker in NCAA history.
He was awesome. Football legends, Lamar Jackson, obviously. Brian and Jeff Brom and Greg Brom, who we'll talk about later. And then a guy named Teddy Bridgewater. And I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you.
Maybe
if I ever saw a teddy bear drinking water under a bridge, I think my head would explode, man.
Real quick, before we go into this head-to-head matchups with Louisville, let's do this now. Know your foe. Kind of an underrated athletic department. We already talked about that. But when you think of Louisville, what do you think of? What do you think of that? What comes to mind?
For me, Bourbon, Pitino, kind of Lamar Jackson, but we never played against Louisville. I don't think of them as an ACC rival, I'll tell you that much. And it's because we've played 14 out-of-conference schools as many or more times than we've played Louisville since they joined the ACC 11 years ago. We played Old Dominion 7 times and East Carolina 4 times, Notre Dame 4 times. West Virginia 3 times. We played Louisville twice, and one of them was during the COVID year. We haven't even played Louisville at home since they joined the conference. That's crazy. So when I think of them, I think of like old Big East, Rutgers beating them in 2006. Kevin Ware, God bless him, that was a gruesome injury. Vacating that natty. Luke Hancock, legend. Those are my quick talking points.
I would say this. NFL type program. They play in an NFL type stadium. I love their new basketball coach. And again, it's weird because they're in the ACC, but they're in the ACC. They're always like college football dark horse. Like when you're doing like off-season college football dark horse, you're like, what about Louisville? Every year, Bryce will be like, I don't know, man, Jeff Brom, something about that guy. He's just a winner. And he is. Jeff Brom is most certainly a winner. And then the last one that I'll give you is just absolutely destroying us in basketball from 1991 to 2022. We did not win a single game against Louisville in that time period. So that's what I think of. Let's get into some of this Hokie history.
Shout out to Paul Patera for unearthing that stat, by the way. I mean, we've played William & Mary, Vandy, Rutgers, Purdue, Ohio State, Furman, Cincy, Marshall, and Liberty, and Wofford as many or more times than we've played these Cardinals. I can't believe they've never come to a game at Lane Stadium.
With fans. Oh, no, we played Louisville at Louisville when we beat them. So, yeah, wow.
Yeah, as a conference foe. The Hokies lead the all-time series 6-3, starting back in the 1970s, back in 79. Hokies are undefeated at home, 3-0 versus Louisville. Pre-ACC games, Hokies won in 1979, 15-14 in Louisville. The big game we got to talk about, other than this Gator Bowl, which is certainly story-filled, 92. Louisville comes to Blacksburg. Louisville hosts us. Their quarterback, this guy named Jeff Brom, runs for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and also has a key 2-point conversion pass late in the game to his brother, Greg Brom. Hokies lose in Louisville 21-17. Fast forward to the fabled New Year's Day Gator Bowl after the 2005 season. This is the Marcus Vick team, Cedric Humes, Jimmy Williams, Darryl Tapp, James Anderson. Studs littered the football field. And this is a pretty high-profile Gator Bowl. Hokies ended up winning 35-24, but there was a lot of chaos that went down in this game. First of all, Hokies came back from a 17-10 deficit at halftime, but that was not the leading storyline. The leading storylines, other than J-Ham and Darryl Tapp and others on our defense just destroying their backup, Hunter Cantwell, all game long, was the infamous stomp by Marcus Vick late in the first half. After a play ended, Vick was seen stepping on Elvis Dumerville's leg. This was the leading sack leader in the nation, and there was no penalty on the field for Marcus.
It was tough.
Obviously, huge controversy after the game.
Mm.
A lot of penalties from Tech in the first half, and Coach Beamer came out and said really was not happy about a lot of the things that went on, and this behavior was not Virginia Tech football. No, it wasn't. Jimmy Williams also got ejected from this football game in the first half. Just a tough look, despite winning a Gator Bowl, which back in the early 2000s was a big deal.
Big deal.
It kind of had this black cloud effect on the Virginia Tech football program. And Marcus Vick never played another game in a Hokie uniform. He was kicked off the team later that summer in 2006. Handed the ball to Sean Glennon, and that defense was electric in 06. But fast forward to 2020, high-scoring game, 42-35. Shout out to Hendon Hooker, the COVID game. 10 for 10 and ran for 3 scores in Louisville. That Louisville team had some athletes. Tutu Atwell, I remember, was on that team. Don't remember their quarterback. I remember he had a funny name too, or like a unique name.
Wasn't it Kincaid?
Kincaid, not funny or unique. Don't think it was Kincaid.
I'll do a quick Google.
2023, we got destroyed. We were out in Scottsdale for Griff's bachelor party for this one, all fired up, hyped up on Hokie Mountain Dew. Shout out Dr. Enough, if you know, Southwest Virginia lore. Louisville routs Virginia Tech in Louisville 34-3. We did not get off the bus. Why did we even travel to Louisville? I don't know, because we did not show up, and that was a tough watch.
That was when we really started doing the "Can Coach Pride beat anybody that's better than us" dialogue. I think we were like, okay, Like we just went on a murderer's row of teams that are not going to go to bowl games and beat all of them. And anytime we play somebody with a pulse, we lose. By the way, you did try to dunk on me. Like Kincaid is objectively funnier and more out of the box than Malik Cunningham as a name. But Malik Cunningham was pretty damn good. He led the Cardinals in rushing and passing that year. So
Malik Cunningham went by Mikhail Cunningham and then changed his name to Malik at some point in his college career, which I think that's why I had some
a couple other things with Louisville. Kyron Drones is quoted as saying that it was one of the loudest places he's ever played. So shout out to, I know you guys aren't the Yum Center. Isn't it like the Papa John's Stadium or something like that? They got some. It's pretty funny. They're the KFC Yum Center is where they play basketball, and then they have the Papa John's football field. Not sure what it is.
Papa John's.
You know him.
Papa John. We could do that in the notable alumni. Papa John is quite a controversial figure. I know.
People got mad at you for taking a photo with him, which is crazy.
I did meet him 2 winters ago in Deer Valley at the Vintage Room, and I was like, "Oh my God, Papa John!" There's like 100 people here, and he's just there. And he's what you think Papa John would look like, and what he would do.
He was looking a little sloppy. I think he was he looked like me at Tots on Friday night.
I was like, I guess I got to get a picture with Papa John, right? Better ingredients, better pizza, better football in Blacksburg, better at Lane Stadium for sure. It's actually called L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium. They sold out to L&N Federal.
Damn.
It actually, it used to be Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. So you were right, Billy, right?
Papa John spent all his money at Deer Valley at the whatchamacallit club. Notable alumni. We are so back on controversial government figures. We're kicking off this list with Mitch McConnell. If you are a Republican or you are a Democrat, Mitch McConnell is good for one heinous video a year. Looks like Franklin the Turtle. He's just it's a tough scene, man. With brother Mitch.
Please incorporate term limits, please. That's a blanket statement.
Speaking of Mitches, we got Donovan Mitchell, notable New York Mets fan. Lamar Jackson, notable baller. We got Maggie Lawson, for those of you who watch Psych. She played Jules, not Jules from Superbad, but Jules from Psych. We also have Johnny Unitas, Terry Rozier. Talk about a guy who's having a cover your kids' ears shitty week. Terry Rozier, tough situation. He doesn't need to be betting on the UVA game this weekend. Sharon Moore, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, is a Louisville grad. And then lastly, I got to tell you, I'm curious. This might be a little inappropriate. Diane Sawyer. I feel like she's been a cutie for a while. She's been on TV forever, like literally forever. I feel like Diane Sawyer has been doing the news for like a million years and has always looked the same. So Diane Sawyer, shout out to her. She's a legend. Talk about some news lore. I don't know what lives in news lore. Here we go. Louisville. They are undefeated on the road. They are 2-0 with a win against Miami. Probably one of the biggest upsets of the year so far. Per team rankings, Pat, I know you've been living on team rankings. They have a 10% chance to win the conference. I think that's actually quite low. Head coach Jeff Brom. He really is one of the best coaches in the country. He's 4-2 in his career against top 5 teams. He's 27-15 against the spread, and he's won 20 times as an outright underdog. That is impressive. Jeff Brom is also one of the most interesting men in the world. He drinks Dos Equis. I'm sure Papa John drinks plenty of Dos Equis, but he is one of the most interesting men in the world. He was selected in the 7th round of the MLB draft by the Expos in high school, but he passed on it. Then he missed baseball when he was in college and played minor league ball during his college summers when he was selected by the Indians in the 4th round and played for 2 summers. And they were pushing him to stop playing football. And he said, "No, I love football." He then played 6 years in the NFL. He bounced around all over the place, and he was in the XFL for 1 year. And one of the most famous videos, I actually was doing the notes and I copied and pasted this by mistake in my text to you. So I'm sure, I don't know if you've seen the video, but you need to go find it. The XFL was trying to basically WWEify football. And they had him for an answer. And I think he was hurt or had something wrong. And they were like, "Are you ready to play this game?" And he goes, "Let me answer that question by asking you 2 questions. 1, is there or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football." Wow. That's a lot more vigor than you see out of him anywhere. I remember at ACC Media Days, like, brother, this guy is boring. But he was not boring when he was in the XFL. He was a head coach for the first time ever for the Louisville Fire, which was arena ball in 2002. And then he was well-traveled. He was an assistant at Louisville from 03 to 08. He was a quarterback's coach at Florida Atlantic in 2009. He was at Illinois in 2010 to 2011. So I guess he was the quarterback's coach when Juice Williams was there. I think that's around when Juice Williams was at Illinois. I could be incorrect on that. UAB, Western Kentucky, Purdue head coach. He was the head coach of that Purdue team when they beat Ohio State. That was a memorable game. And he is now the head coach of Louisville. Fun coach. Does a really good job. One of the best in college, in my opinion. They did lose to UVA, 30-27 at home. It was a tough outcome. One of Louisville's many impressive and close wins. So tip of the cap.
Speaking of those close wins, 2-touchdown win over JMU, week 2. Only beat Bowling Green 40-17. I mean, is giving up 17 points to Bowling Green an indictment at home?
I don't think so. Bowling Green's been a decent program. The game that was an indictment was when they were just getting absolutely railroaded by Pittsburgh that next week. I remember tuning that game on and I tweeted that's so ACC, that's so Raven meme. They were down 17-0 in the second quarter. And then Pitt just sucked after that.
I don't know.
Miller Moss threw the ball 51 times that game.
Remember, that is the 4-1 in the ACC Pittsburgh Panthers, 6-2.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bowl eligible. I wouldn't say any loss to a tough, gritty Pittsburgh team on the road is a tough indictment there, Billy.
Real quick, at the time though, this was before Pitt switched their quarterback, so they were 2-2, and they had Eli Holstein at quarterback, and Pitt just came out, punched him in the mouth. Little did we know, Pitt was good. Pat Narduzzi doing what he does best, playing good ball when everybody wants to fire him. So, this is a shout out.
I don't know how that guy doesn't get poached. He's a forever Pitt guy. He's got to be. I mean, wow. I wish we played Pittsburgh this year, man. I think it's such a bummer we don't get them every year.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Virginia in overtime at home in early October, and then came back after a bye and had that big win down in Miami Gardens. And then last week they took down Boston College, surrendered 24 to Boston College, who I think also is no good. So, this Louisville team, these are close games. You know, the most statement win or the biggest point differential in a win was a 14-point win over JMU and a 14-point win over Boston College at home. So this will be honestly a test on the road for Louisville this week. This is not – is this a top 20 team in the country?
Find out next on the CW at 3 o'clock. Talking about their offense, they are scoring 34 points per game, which is good for 32nd, 251 passing yards per game, which is good for 34th. Miller Moss from Los Angeles by way of USC. He's 6'2", 210, 158 completions, 1,793 yards, 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. I'll be honest, I really thought when he went there, he was going to get unlocked. And I'm not by any means saying that he is having a bad year, because he is not. I was just kind of expecting more out of Miller Moss. He is currently 58th in college football in QBR. Maybe his best football is ahead of him. I'll tell you what, good-looking dude. Good-looking dude, Miller Moss. Not too sure where I was going with that. But He did beat LSU, one of the contributing factors to Brian Kelly getting fired. So let's talk about some of the best players on their offense. They have the top receiver in the conference and the second leading rusher in the league. Their top receiver is Chris Bell. He's 6'2", 220. He's a junior from Yazoo City, Mississippi. Mississippi's got some crazy names for their locations. It's a crazy state overall, for being honest. 48 catches for 14.3 per catch. He's got 6 touchdowns. That's really impressive. He had 12 catches, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns against UVA, and he had 10 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown against Pitt. So I am not looking forward to him going against our defensive backs. They also have the second leading rusher in the ACC with Isaac Brown. He's 5'9", 190 from Miami. Hold on to your pants. 75 carries for 652 yards, which is good for 8.7 yards per carry.
205 yards last Saturday against Boston College.
8.7 yards per carry is some serious Khalil Herbert, Bashal Tutin stat lineage. That is wild. You're starting second and 1 on most of your first down handoffs. So
we're gonna see him a lot. They've had 4 out of 7 games. Isaac Brown has gone for over 100 yards. He's only a sophomore, including JMU game, Miami game, and Boston College. He was in triple digits, and he's been getting the ball a lot more as well. Has had over 10 carries each of the last 4 weeks. So gap integrity, get a hat on that guy.
The only other guy getting significant carries is, oh boy, Kewan Brown, 40 carries, 227, 4 touchdowns. So both backs have 4 touchdowns each. What else do we have here in terms of receiving? Colin Lacey, he's got 48 catches for 369. But Chris Bell's the touchdown machine, 6 touchdowns. I do want to say also Isaac Brown, not very featured in their passing game. He only has 11 catches for 42 yards. So that is your Louisville offense. Before we head over to the defense, let's get a message from our friends over at TechStream. Let's talk about the dude. You love the click. You love that every single time. Shout out to our friends over at TechStream. Louisville defense has the 4th most interceptions in the country with 12 interceptions. That is quite a few interceptions by Louisville. Really, really well done. Incredible. So some of the players to look at before we do that, they're giving up 21 points per game. They're 14th in the country in yards given up per game at 286, 23rd in passing yards given up at 167, and 21st in rushing defense, 105 yards per game. They're holding opponents to 33% on third down, which is good for 24th in the country. Their leading tacklers, TJ Quinn, senior linebacker with 49 tackles and 2 interceptions. I do want to point out, this is why you have to listen to this stuff. Cade Ulave from Cal absolutely balled out. He had 19 tackles in our game. I think he had 2 sacks too. Back to Louisville. I can't stop talking about this Cal game. It just dominates my mind because it was so awesome. D'Angelo Hutchinson, he's a senior linebacker with 46 tackles and an interception. They do have 2 defensive linemen that have 4 sacks on the year in Wesley Bailey and Clev Lubin. Clev, don't get it confused with Cliv. But if Cliv was starting on that defensive line, I'm sure he'd have 15 or 16 sacks by now. Who else do we got? Junior linebacker Antonio Watts from Columbus, Georgia, has 3 interceptions. He's tied for the second most in the ACC. He also has 27 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. So very interestingly, we talk about Jeff Brom, the quarterback whisperer. Jeff Brom is playing some hard-nosed defense. So keep an eye out on that. Flipping it over to special teams. We have a 2-kicker special again. We have Cooper Ranvier, 11 of 13. He's perfect inside of 39 and has a long of 50. Insane hair on this freshman from Lexington. He's a freshman. He has that freshman hair. It's like the first time that your mom can't see you walk in from school and be like, we're getting a haircut tomorrow. You need to pull it up, dude. You need to.
You guys are getting a visual here.
Yeah, please get that pulled up. You know, when you come home from high school and your mom is like, oh my gosh, son, we're taking you to the barber tomorrow. This is no disrespect. We've all been there. I've had some awful haircuts.
And I gotta be honest. I mean, you know, this is Pat saying get off my lawn, but like the Gen Z haircuts are wild these days, man.
They're so crazy. Can I just, while we're looking at this visual, shout out to Louisville Red. I like their red. It's very crisp, looks good. I think it's one of the only uniforms that Adidas does a pretty good job with. Do you agree?
Who did Louisville play? They played Boston College. I saw. Who was it? Yeah, short answer, yes. I think this is like a candy apple red, if we're getting specific. This is kind of like the red sports car red. Mm-hmm. If you were to drive a convertible down the Pacific Coast Highway, you would want it to be this shade of red.
Good call out. Good call out on the PCHW. They also have Nick Keller. He is the long distance king. He has a long of 57, and he kind of looks like Elijah Drinkwitz's kid.
I was going to say, how's his haircut?
Oh, I'm just telling you, you're going to pull him up, and he looks like Elijah Drinkwitz's son. You'll get it when you pull him up. Throw it up, dude. It's totally Elijah Drinkwitz's son. You're crushing it with the screen share, dude. This used to be tough last year. That is Elijah Drinkwitz's son, dude. Get ready to learn Missouri. Good. I couldn't tell you where Missouri is on a map either. Yep, there he is. That's his boy. That is his boy. Unbelievable. All right. Just flipping it over to Keys to the Game. Keys to the Game are brought to you by David Phillips, our real estate king, our real estate friend, our friend in general. He's a supporter of Virginia Tech athletics, loves wrestling, loves baseball, loves basketball, loves football. He's a man of the community. He is a man of honor and dignity. So if you're looking for a home, you are looking for to sell your home in Blacksburg, Virginia, whatever you need to do, hit up our guy, Dave Phillips. We will connect you as well. He is the man. Here are my keys to the game. Number one, the fans got to stay. It's at 3:00. Your bedtime's not going to happen during the game. Wear a sweatshirt. I need to say this. I meant to say this in the Cal Pod. I was floored by some of the outfits that young ladies are wearing at these football games. Of the student variety. There's really no way to have this conversation without coming across as odd. So the only thing that I'm going to say is I promise there's no reason to wear close to zero clothes in 34 degrees. It's a crazy move. It's not good. The shirtless Warriors in the end zone, like I'm sure they had a sweatshirt and they had the ability to put it on. I am seeing way too much exit warmth, enter hypothermia in Lane Stadium. So, I would just say bundle up. Did you notice this too walking around? Did you catch some of the insane fits that we were seeing in 32 degrees?
No, dude. Let people live their lives. Let people live their lives.
All right, wear what you want to wear. But I literally was in line getting a beer, and I was next to some student, and she literally was convulsive shivering. And all I did was I had my hands in my pockets of my jacket, and I was like, you can avoid this. I literally told her, I was like, it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't. This was very much a choice. And you're already past the statute of limitations of putting on the bourbon blanket. Like that Michelob Ultra will not warm you up. I'm just telling you. So.
As long as you lead with them convulsing and it's evident that they are freezing. That's how you should have led this, Billy Ray. Next time,
it was 34
retweet
degrees.
it. Well, yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean that they're not warm-blooded. Like, come on, they could be cold-blooded. They might be in Slytherin.
My keys to the game: do not turn over the football. No free possessions. This will be a low-scoring affair. And go out there and play with heart, play with energy, play with passion. And things that we can't control, I hope that we have a different officiating crew, and I hope the fans stick around.
It's fun. It's like, hey, let's just repackage what we did last weekend. Make sure we can get pressure on Miller Moss. Don't turn the football over or no red zone mistakes. I still can't believe Kyron Drones, 2/3 of the way through the season, is trending towards 20 touchdowns. Like, that's exciting.
It's wild.
Right?
It is wild.
He's got 1,500 passing yards. Marcellus Hawkins has over 500 rushing yards. Like, it's just
another
wow.
Another note
that's so fun.
another note for Louisville fans: what is Terrion Stewart going to be healthier? If you're a Louisville fan, you certainly hope not. If you're a Virginia Tech fan, you hope so. So we will see what comes from there.
Throw the
Grant
ball
Watson.
Throw the ball to Aiden Green. Seriously, retweet the game plan from last week. Like, I would assume that this Louisville run defense is a lot better than Cal. Seek contact Kyron Drones. Seek carries Marcellus Hawkins. Seek deep balls Aiden Green. And keep the pressure front seven. Kamari Copeland. Let's match up and double up on last week. Control the game. Run the football. It's really not that hard, Billy Ray. At home, wear a jacket is also
yes. Grant Watson over-unders. Chris Bell receiving yards, 114.5. I think this guy can have 250. I'll be honest. I really am not feeling great about that situation.
Over.
Hokies rushing yards, 149.5. If they run Kyron the way that they ran him last week, I'm going to go over with this one. I just think the way that we have changed our identity offensively really fits well with what we have. So I'll go over on that as well.
You really hope that they're having a great week of practice up to this point. Just keep running that football. You know what we did against NC State? We ran the football. Did the same thing against Cal. Let's take the over.
Miller Moss passing yards, 219. I already said that Chris Bell is going to have 250 yards receiving. So I'm going to have to go with the heavy over on that one.
Is this the game that Virginia Tech has a defensive turnover that changes the momentum and flow of the football game?
I certainly hope so. I mean, we've been waiting for that for a millennium.
Years.
Yeah, we've been waiting for it. Score predictions. So the line right now is Louisville minus 10.5, and the over/under is set at 53.5. What do you got?
This is such a delusional way of thinking. You know what? I haven't picked the set yet, clearly. I think Virginia Tech wins this football game. I really do. Learning more about Louisville, I'm like, wait a second. You guys you went down to Miami and caught Miami napping. Spencer Rattler, whatever his name is, Carson Beck, threw 4 interceptions. Miller Moss has been good, not elite. Kind of have an idea of who to key in on defense. Can we pick Virginia Tech in an upset, like a 31-30 game?
You know how I see this game playing out? I see this game playing out like the Clemson-Virginia Tech game last year. I see this game playing out where nobody's scoring any points in the first half. And you go in the locker room, maybe you're up 10-0, maybe you're up 7-6 type of situation. We went in a locker room up 7-0 against Clemson last year. And I think the second half gets a little squirrely. So Virginia Tech lost to Clemson 24-14. It was not that close when you look at kind of the game. I don't think that we will be totally outmatched. I also think it has a chance to be very similar to the Georgia Tech game that we saw this year where we lost 35-20 and the guys competed. I will actually just kind of ride with what we saw from that Georgia Tech game. I'm going to go Louisville 32, Virginia Tech 21. That is my score prediction. That is what I will go with.
32 points. It might be a scoregami.
Let's do 31. I don't know why. My division is tough sometimes. Around the country, let's talk about some of these other games. Is there anything that's popping off as interesting to you? I'm gonna read some games here that I find interesting. Chapel Bill has a chance to get a win. He's headed to Syracuse. Syracuse is 2.5-point favorites against North Carolina. We also have Vanderbilt at Texas. Texas is favored by 2.5. That's going to be interesting. Penn State is going to Ohio State. Now, we found an early line for this that was immediately taken off of DraftKings. It was 3.5. I thought that was preposterous. So I went to bet it, and it was down. I think it was a mistake. What do you think the line is?
18.5.
20.5.
Okay.
20.5 for the Penn State and Indy Lions traveling to Ohio State. We have Miami taking on SMU. That is the Fall Don't Lie tour. That is where our guy Josh Pate is going to be. Duke at Clemson. That game's at noon on ACC Network. We might see some rioting in Clemson if Clemson loses this game. I feel like we're kind of like underplaying how weird this situation in Clemson is because Dabo keeps getting up there on the podium and he's like, dude, we're good. Tough year. I don't think Clemson fans feel the same way. So there's that. Scrolling down, looking at some of these other games, you got the Georgia-Florida game. Okay. Texas Tech.
What do you think about Georgia Tech having to go to Carter Finley?
I think they're going to roll NC State. I think NC State is bad. I think Dave Doran is ready for this dream to be over. That's really no disrespect to him. It's just bad. I am interested in the South Carolina Ole Miss game. South Carolina is going to have to go to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 12.5. I like South Carolina to cover that. South Carolina actually played pretty well this past weekend. Oklahoma at Tennessee is a good one. Wake Forest at Florida State. Tell you what, scary hours for Jay Norvell, bro. It is, or Mike Norvell, whoever it is. Jay Norvell coaches at Colorado State, but he was relieved of his duties a couple of weeks ago. So Jake Dickert poured one out, man. He's doing a great job. I believe they've already hit their season over.
Wake Forest is hot. They're on a 3-game win streak.
And then the last one, which is interesting, is you have ranked Cincinnati traveling to ranked Utah. So that'll be a fun one. Utah's favored by 8.5 points. Utah absolutely kicked Colorado in the teeth last weekend. So excited for this one. I'll be in town. Juliana will be in town. I believe Caroline Miller is going to be in town. She's making the day trip from Charlotte. Pat, we will miss you. I'll tell you that much. That's a fact. You got any final words here before we pack it in? We've been doing a really good job at finishing around the 60-minute mark this year on our previews. Every time.
I'm looking at that Miami game, and I'm like, if we announce our coach and I'm fired up about who it is, I'm like, you know what?
You're going to pick us to win. You're going to pick us to win.
No, should we making the trip to the Miami game is what I'm trying to say. I think
Well,
Brian
I will not
might come in for
wedding,
it.
Unfortunately.
Ah, yes, the wedding, the fall wedding.
Speaking of, so Willie Kranick got a little, not to quote The Departed, he got a little taste of that hokey special, and he goes, "When we play at UVA this year, right? That's like closer, right? I think I might go to that game. So we might get the Willie Kranick effect at the Charlottesville game, which would be tremendous, which I would welcome and love.
Could you imagine Willie Kranick, John, with some UVA fans?
I don't know what we would do with Willie Kranick if he gets this win and then he is also part of a loss to UVA. I think there would be some very mixed Hokie fans on his attendance on future games. He got the monkey off of his back. If you ever want to get the monkey back on your back, go to that game and have us not walk out of Lane Stadium North with a dub.
No, losing is not an option. Someone's going to get him.
Someone.
Might start with Cal. Might be multiple someones. I'll say that.
Last thing. You know who plays tonight? JMU.
Tuesday. Okay. Kenny Chesney, let's go.
JMU is playing Texas State right now. And I'm looking for UNLV. Is UNLV off this week? I want to coach so bad, man. I want one coach really bad. That's the show. Shout out to Will Trent for doing an amazing job shooting this past weekend. He was at I don't even know if you're allowed to share what he's doing. Is it illegal to say that you're on jury duty? Is that illegal? I don't think so. Like saying that you're on jury duty?
Because the jury is a public thing. It's all public, right? Aren't like all those
I didn't want to like
put out there.
Okay, so yeah, he's working hard. He's on jury duty. I don't want to be like he's on jury duty and then like he gets kicked off. But who wouldn't want to get kicked off of jury duty?
It is great, but also like I could say anyone's on jury duty. How do they know what jury he's on? They don't know what jurisdiction he's living in.
That's true.
They don't know what jury he's being called to serve. But
that is true.
Hey, Billy, just because we're talking about it,
sure.
Is the jury in or out that James Franklin will be hired as our coach within the next 48 hours? There's a lot of smoke. And here's the thing. If he's hired this week, if Chesney's hired this week, whoever it is, we're going to hop on. We got to do an emergency podcast.
Yeah. Let me say this. This has the chance. If Virginia Tech beats Cal, a 5-2 Cal team at the time, they're now 5-3. If Virginia Tech beats Cal, announces a coach everybody's fired up about, when was the last time we had a week this awesome with football? Aiden Green is out here having awesome pictures posted on the internet. Bruce Arians is on Pat McAfee rocking Hokie gear. Like, I mean, has there ever been a better feeling in Hokie Nation in, I don't know, half a decade minimum?
Yeah, probably the day Demetrius Davis committed.
What a pull. What an unbelievable pull by you.
The college football playoff was made for James Franklin. Just as big as it is for Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin without a 12-team playoff, he was salivating when it jumped up to 12. Franklin would have made the playoff 6 out of the last 9 seasons if we had a 12-team playoff. We've talked about this already, but that's like saying Frank Beamer would have made the playoff probably 8 out of 9 years from that, 04 to 11 stretch or whatever, 03. I also saw a really funny tweet today. It was college football is lucky that Nick Saban retired because back in the day, he would have already made James Franklin, Billy Napier, and Brian Kelly analysts for Alabama. The spin zone is if Saban goes to LSU.
That would be so awesome. World where if Saban goes to the absolute dream scenario of boomers would be so happy. My dad has called me and told me this like he was telling it to me the first time. Parents, they'll tell you something 5 times and think it's the first time that they tell it to them. But I love it. I welcome the call every single time. And he goes, let me tell you what, son. You know the voice. Let me tell you what, son. You know what'd be crazy? I'm like, Pops, let me guess, because I've heard it. He goes, no, you know what'd be crazy? Nick Saban, LSU, Urban Meyer, Florida, Jimbo Fisher, Florida State. End scene. How great would that be? I would watch a lot. I would watch a whole lot. So that would be a ton of fun.
Urban Florida. Whoa.
Urban to Florida. That would be fun.
Tim Tebow, Florida's GM.
That would be fun. He could be their prayer leader. He'd run the FCA. It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, Aiden Green would go.
If you're, I hope not. I hope you got to keep him on the roster. If you're still listening, I had that work conference last week, and I left my liver at Tots, and I need to get back on the horse. So please comment the running or lifting emoji in the comments, and then also give us your thoughts on James Franklin, head coach of Virginia Tech. If you say negative things, I will probably disagree with you in the comments. So if you want to get in a fight on the internet, we can do that. Respect.
If you don't want to do that in the comments, just comment the turkey emoji because it is the better bird this week, Pete McGay. Brad Rogers, shout out. My only Louisville friend, shout out Brad Rogers. I know he's going to the game this weekend. Bummed. Well, I'm gonna miss
That's
you,
not our
Brad.
only Louisville friend, dude. We're friends with Luke Hancock. He predicted us to win the ACC championship on this very podcast. So shout out to Luke Hancock. Last thing, Halloween. I'm going to give everybody the speech that my mom always gives me. You don't need to eat more than 2 every day. Throw it in the cabinet. Okay. Put it up high where you can't reach it, or have your significant other do so. So that's number 1. Number 2, always check some crazy stuff out there. Stay away from the crazies, right? It's kind of sad, Pat. When we were kids, my parents would just let me go trick-or-treating with a couple buddies at like 8 o'clock, come back around like 9:30, 9:45. I wouldn't do that today with Billy Ray Jr. and Sedona Ray. I wouldn't have them running out there in these streets. In all seriousness, though, be safe. Don't throw TP on the 85-year-old's trees in her front lawn. It's not funny. Ding dong ditch your parents. That is funny. I used to do that to my parents all the time. That's a podcast.
When did our podcast demographic turn into trick-or-treaters and mischief night doorbell ringers?
That's a good question. It hasn't. That's a podcast. Like, subscribe, check us out on Twitter, check us out on Facebook, check out our description to join the Section 5 Club. Shout out to Paul Burntner, man. I'll tell you what, that video that Paul has of us in the after that game was so great. And I'll also say, shout out, that video of Mike Holmes gets me like emotional, man. Watching that video of Mike Holmes coming all the way over from Colorado to watch that game. The funniest part about that video, though, if you haven't seen it, is he goes, "I got Pete B," and Pete B just goes, "Hell yeah."
Pete B is a meme. Pete B is a walking, breathing meme.
He's such a meme. Guys, have a good rest of your week. Beat Louisville. Peace.